10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Well, penis. How the fuck is everybody doing tonight? Good to see your face. Well, I don't see anyone's faces. I've been working out all day today, and I'm rather sunburned at the moment myself. Feeling a little bit of that sun exposure, but got a little bit of work done on the old bike and fixed up my son's car and helped out my buddy with his car. So we got quite a bit done today, which is kind of cool. But yeah, man, I hope everybody out there is doing good. Lawfully armed. You. How are you? I see your face.
Good.
Excellent. And very articulate.
Turned 34 and woke up with my knee hurting, so it's good.
It's your birthday today?
Not today.
Oh.
But the pain persists.
It only gets worse. Tactical Muffin Top, how you doing, man?
What up, bro? I was also outside all day and then also in pain and 33.
Just wait till you're 43. I think it's even better. Again.
I'll be dead.
Again, but by the time you're 43, I'll be 53, and I'll be like, oh, I wish I was 43 again. Leo.
Yeah, I've been in the house all day. That's about it.
So you're a house YN?
Yep.
Nice.
If you don't know what that means, then
A-O-N, not a Y-N.
It's good you're here, my ON.
Sure.
And Mr.
And I watched
Ohio.
all your motorcycle videos. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
you
did do that.
Did you enjoy?
Yes. You have great commentary.
Thank you. Yeah, I talk the whole time, and then I cut it. So I'll have like a 2-hour video, and I'll try to cut everything down to about 20 minutes. And so it's pretty easy to find 20 minutes of me talking in a 2-hour period, and trust me. But thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And El Senor Patriot del Ohio.
Oh, I'm doing good. Been paying attention to the Shiloh Hendricks situation all this week.
The Shiloh who? What?
The woman that supposedly called the N-word on the playground, and now has made like $600,000 off of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard that the dude filming her was a convicted pedo.
Whoa.
He wasn't convicted because he let him off the hook. He was Somali, though.
So tell me the story. What happened here? I'm unfamiliar with this particular.
So supposedly what happened was there was a woman at a playground with her toddler. She has been doxxed since then. Her name is Shiloh Hendricks. And basically you had her supposedly, there was supposed to be like this supposed 5-year-old kid, black child, who was going through her diaper bag and stealing stuff out of it. She supposedly called him the N-word off camera. This Somali guy started filming her, which led to him being like, oh, did you call the kid the N-word? And then she's like, yeah, dude. And he's like, well, say it again. And she says it to him about 5 times or something. And then since then, she's basically gotten viral for that. People doxed all of her information. She's up at Give Send Go. It has since raised, I think, like $620,000 last time I checked this afternoon. And yeah, it's just a crazy deal all the way around. It's definitely Carmelo Anthony's backlash, though. Like, he's backlash directly to that case.
Well, I mean, at least she
People
didn't
just
stab
tired of
anybody in the heart. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the difference there. Is like, yeah, probably not a good look going around calling YNs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no one died. No one. In fact, when you call someone a YN, as bad as that is, you're not breaking the law. There's no law against that. Offensive speech, as Missouri Survival says, offensive speech is free speech. I'd rather know where a person stands anyway, and I agree with that.
Wasn't this in Europe?
No, it happened
was
in
it the UK?
Minnesota. No, it's Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Why did I feel that she had an accent? Did she have
He
an
had an accent.
No, the Somali guy
Oh, it was
doesn't have
him.
the
Okay.
accent.
Why is that state overrun with Somalis? Is it just because it was cheap to move there because it's really cold? So they were like, "That's where we're landing. We're going from like."
It was by design. They did the same shit here in Ohio under John Kasich. It was Obama's administration forced I think it's like 200,000 down in Columbus or something.
Well, okay,
That's
hold
why
on,
there's
hold
two
on,
of these
hold
assholes
on,
in my state house now.
hold on. I know when my grandparents moved here, like 3 of my 4 grandparents came from the old country. And when they moved here, they moved to the area where everyone, like their parents moved to the area where everyone spoke the language of the country that they came from. They lived in ghettos, even though it wasn't ghetto necessarily, but it was ghetto as in everyone was ethnically the same. Like all of the Italians lived in the Italian ghetto. All of the Polish people lived in the Polish ghetto. And yeah, fucking that's just the way. So you would fast forward to today, and if you get, like 5 million Somalis coming into the country, or however the fuck many it is, with chain migration and everything else that they do, that there might be an area like Wisconsin that ends up getting a lot of them, because that's where they just move. I don't know. We got some Somalis out here too, to be honest.
Well, the interesting part about Minnesota's Somali population is there is a bunch of identity fraud stuff. There could be loan theft in that community, and it's also the biggest Islamic terror center outside of the Middle East. It's also Illinois' congressional district too, for the matter.
Well, maybe you should call them YNs. I'm just kidding.
I only recently learned that doesn't mean youngin.
Well, it does mean young.
I'm glad I never used it.
Young is in there, so you were half right.
That's the first word is young.
Yeah.
X Adam 1's correct.
There were several thousand Somalis in Nebraska. They all worked at JBS meat plant. 8 people for 1 bedroom. Nasty ass motherfuckers, dude. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing going on here. Like there'll be like 10 of them living in a fucking 1 bedroom apartment. I don't know about working at a fucking meat packing plant, but I don't know if any of them work really. Like usually like the ones that I've seen, they're all like hanging out doing nothing all the time. Or they come into places where people work that come into these chats and live in Colorado. And there'll be like 8 of them or 10 of them. Like the whole family's there. Extended family, kids, grandkid. Everybody has the night off. Everyone can come out for whatever the event is, which it doesn't seem like there's actually an event because no one's blowing out candles for a birthday or anything. You know what I mean? They're just there. And then they pay with 8 separate credit cards, right? Because they like everyone will pay for their own little bit that they got, but then they all pay out. They all have the exact same credit card, which says to me, either you guys are all working at the same corporation, right? Or you got it from the government, and actually I'm paying for you motherfuckers to sit down and for me to serve on you, and then for you to not tip me. It's great. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anywho's. So what else is going on in the world? Just the YNs?
All of them.
Yeah, that's basically blown up my feed this whole past few days now.
You gonna say something there, Muffin?
Nope. I've just been media blacking out this weekend, so I'm in the same boat you are, sir.
What? Same here. Like I really haven't been paying attention to the news like that much. Like
Well, okay,
I'll go and check headlines, see if there's anything big happening. Then I'm just going about my day.
The problem with the news, whenever I turn on the news, they're like, oh, well, Trump is creating chaos, and oh my God, the trade war in China, and blah blah blah. And they're like, they have no perspective, they have no faith, they have zero understanding of what's actually going on, right? That Trump is using these tariffs and this potential trade war and everything else that's going on as a way to negotiate with countries that have had extreme tariffs on us for years. It's not like the tariffs that they're going to put on us or so, no, we're just matching the tariffs that they've already had on us in many cases, right?
Yes.
And in cases like China, the ones that we're putting like extra tariffs on, it's because they play fucking dirty. They're playing. They steal all of the intellectual property that they can possibly get, and then have no ramifications with their own country when they produce it themselves, because that's how they fucking make money. There's no originality. They just copy everyone else's shit, right? And then on top of it, they fucking use slave labor to undercut everyone else's market to flood things with their products so that they can actually get a foothold in other countries. And we're onto that shit, and we're fucking putting a stop to it because you can't compete with free. Right, that's kind of the problem. So you have to put a tariff on that shit, so at least that it's like somewhat competitive to other countries or what you can produce here. And like, it just seems like, I don't know, like, what is a Nazi method of brainwashing people? Do you know what the Nazi method is? Anyone? It's this thing called the big lie, is what it's called. And what they do, and what they did, and what they're doing now in our country is getting in front of everybody, getting in front of the public, either as the media or the person in charge or whatever, and saying something that's patently false, untrue, provably untrue. Anyone who's paying attention, who knows what's going on, can see that it's untrue. But there's a certain percentage of the population who is either too dumb, too busy, or too ideologically entrenched with the people in power to do anything about it or to stand up against the narrative. And then they repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until everyone is just like, yeah, that's the thing that's going on. And if you don't think that, then you're obviously crazy, because I heard it on the news like 50 fucking times. I mean, I don't know. Think Trump Russia, or just name a fucking story that's happened recently. And what they'll do is they'll either the big lie and say that the thing's going on with Trump, and oh my God, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm Adam Schiff. If you just knew the information that I knew, and then after 4 years, nothing ever happens, and you just shrug your shoulders and say, oh, right? Or the other way, where you like downplay your own fucking bad deeds that you've done as a party or as an individual, and like everyone just repeats that until everyone believes that you're just fucking like the reincarnation of Jesus or something. But whatever. Yeah, that's the big lie. That's the Nazi propaganda method of brainwashing masses into getting them to do what they want them to do, and that's exactly the method that's being used in the United States today. So yeah, it's called the big lie. Anyway, Preston Garvey said $5. He put in $5. Thanks, man. Thank you, Preston Garvey. I heard they like to work at animal shelters so that they can get animals super cheap. Bro. Oh no. Edward Espinosa says, is Daniel okay? What happened to Daniel? Does anyone know what happened to Daniel?
I haven't heard anything.
Let me check Discord real quick. Maybe someone posted something. Unsure. I see nothing. Singer sets his pants on fire after refusing to pay for visual effects for his music video. That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I seen that. That was funny.
Did he almost die?
He should be okay.
Well, that's good.
I don't think he needed a hospital. It's just that the flames got a little bit bigger. Like at one point, then he just like rolled on the ground, took his pants off. Then that's when the video cuts. But like, yeah, but it looked like he was fine.
That's funny.
He just felt the heat. Then it was like, oh shit.
That's how you get
So who got
first
shot?
your burns, though.
What's that?
Who caught on fire?
Some dumb rapper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone who almost won the Darwin Award.
But if if they got the shot, the video might come out great now. You know? Like if that shot flows in with the whole song, right, it might come out looking good once the whole video out.
NC Lucky says, I'd like to buy everything made in America right now. There are things that are made here that you just can't. So you can't. There's things that are not made here, so you can't. And then everyone's talking about like Fords versus Toyotas and Hondas. Dude, I hate to say this, and it sucks to say this, and I wish that it wasn't true, but if you want a reliable vehicle, buy Japanese, not American. Stupid.
I think except for Nissans. I was reading some Nissan cars have been acting just like, Fords and GMs.
Okay, stick to Honda or Toyota. How about that? Because Suzuki kind of sucks too. You're right. Like Suzuki makes good motorcycles, but Suzuki cars, like they're like I don't even know the names of them. They're like if you ever see one for sale, you're like, I don't want a Suzuki. I don't know, man. I don't know. Although, if Trump gets his way, a lot of car manufacturing is going to be done here. Even if a lot of it's done by robots and stuff, they're going to start producing things. And companies have been, like, pledging or beginning to spend money to build plants here in the United States because they want to avoid those tariffs. And in the long run, they've done the math. And Trump has been very, very strategic and very intelligent about this. They've done the math, and they've discovered that they will make more money if they spend a bunch of money and put the plant here than they will if they keep things at home and send them overseas and pay the tariffs, right? Because then people won't buy their cars. Like, if the tariff on top of everything, they won't buy it. So if they make it here, now there's jobs here. Now that it's adding to our economy. Now it's adding to our GDP. Now it's not just some fucking dollars that are going across seas. Although some of them probably still are when you buy a fucking Nissan or whatever it is that, like they're building the plant here. But yeah, a lot of money is going to go into the economy. A lot of people are going to have jobs like they haven't had in years, like the industrial capabilities of the United States have just been gutted since the 80s, like probably even before that, but like since the early 80s, like less and less and less has been produced here until the early 2000s, late 90s under Clinton, where they just basically sent everything over to China because you can produce it for cheaper and then buy stuff like, oh man, it was great for a little while though, right? Because you get like cool ass McDonald's toys that cost nothing, and like, I don't even know. I don't even know what we got out of it. It seems like we just got fucked, really. New Tacoma broke on a snowball.
what?
Sometimes that happens. X Adam 1 is in the market for a new vehicle. Well, X Adam 1, my advice to you is when you get a new vehicle, make sure it's used. Don't buy a new vehicle. Well, I don't know, like when you buy a car that's brand new and you drive it off the lot, you're losing like 30-40% of the value of the car the second you drive it off the lot. If you buy a used car and you drive it off the lot, you sell it the next day, you get all your money back because you bought it for what it was, assuming you bought it for a good price. Yeah, and I have a Toyota. Both of my kids have Hondas. I've got a Yamaha and a Kawasaki. Like, everything is made in Japan. I have nothing made in America. Do you guys have what kind of cars do you guys have? Do you guys have cars? What do you drive?
Chevy
We get something
Silverado.
used at some point.
You got a Silverado?
Yep.
I used to have a Silverado for a work truck, and I actually really like that truck. It got me out of shit one time. Like we were building a reservoir, right? So you basically have to dig down like 60 feet into the earth and wrap everything in a layer of clay like you're making a bowl, which seals it off and makes it so that you can put water in it without it draining through. And that's all well and good until it happens to it happens to rain, and the clay turns into like the slickest fucking shit you've ever been on, and you have to close down the site, right? You can't work when it's like that because the machines are going to slide all around and someone's going to get hurt. So it started raining one day, and I had to drive in the truck up around the rim of this reservoir to pick up our GPS equipment because we were the surveyors, me and my friend. And like drove up there, got everything, and it was raining pretty hard. So I had to come back down into the bowl of this thing, which is where they parked all the vehicles, and pick some people up and drive them out, you know? And as I was driving in, I was like, oh man, I'm going like 10 miles an hour down this ramp. Maybe I should slow down a little bit just in case, you know? So I hit the brake and tapped the brake, and the wheels locked up, and I started going faster. Like, it's the only time I've ever hit the brake and I go faster. And like this truck just accelerates faster and faster towards the bottom of this ramp, this hill. And at the bottom of the hill, we'd made this like pit where all the water could drain to so that the whole thing wasn't wet all the time. So it was an extra like 10 or 15 feet down into basically a pool. And that was basically at the bottom of this ramp. Well, the Silverado starts sliding towards this shit, and I'm going sideways, and I'm hitting the brake, and every time I hit the brake, it goes faster, not slower. So instead of hitting the brake, I hit the gas. And it accelerated out of the direction of the hole, and I don't know, I about shit my pants, but the Silverado saved me.
Yes, sir.
Lawfully armed, what kind of vehicle do you have?
Jeep.
What kind of Jeep? There's many Jeeps.
A Jeep in name only. One of the ones that says Jeep but has none of the features of a Jeep.
Domesticated Jeep.
Like a CJ?
No.
What are you talking, like a Wrangler?
No.
Like a Compass.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not a Jeep. That's barely a Jeep. You're right. That's lame. I'm sorry.
My wife's Grand Cherokee's nice, man. Just saying.
Yeah, they drink fucking gas, though, those Grand Cherokees.
Not bad. Way better than my truck.
Well, I guess I don't have any experience with newer ones, but the old ones did. And they break a lot. Those Jeeps are always fucking breaking.
Just empty every pocket.
Yeah, well, the parts are cheap. I've only replaced like $180 worth of shit on it.
I mean, I can't say much because we just spent all day working on a Honda, you know, but the things that were broken on it were the shocks. So it's not like the motor. Like the motor's fine. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. It starts right up, purrs like a kitten, doesn't leak oil, shifts through all the gears, you know. And now it rides good, too, because it has new shocks. It's nice. It's actually a pretty badass car. Like, what was your guys' first car? And how many horsepower did it make?
Were you trying to, like, get all my bank questions?
Yeah. First pet, mother's maiden name, social.
Well, okay. I wasn't even thinking about that, but now I am. Well, my son, both of them have Honda Accord V6s, right? Which the early 2000 Honda Accord V6s make about 240 horsepower, which compared to like fast cars today is anemic. It's not very much. Compared to fast cars when I was a kid, 240 horsepower is pretty fucking reasonable. Like, man, if you had a car with 240 horsepower in like 1995, that was a pretty fucking fast car. It wasn't the fastest thing on the road by any means, but you had a fast fucking... Now it's just normal. But both of the kids have pretty much fucking fast-ass cars that are... They're faster than my car. Both of their cars are faster than mine, so... And we already did the
Nice.
timing belt on one of them, Mr. Calhoun Republic. So the other one hasn't acted like it needed anything yet, but the first one was making some fucking noise and this and that, and then the water pump fucking stopped working, so there we go.
Did you fix that one piece that was hanging off the bike that you just had dangling while you was riding?
What are you talking about?
Right, it was just a piece by the handlebars that was just loose that you just kept that way.
Oh, you're talking the handguard?
Right. That
Yeah,
must
no,
be
I
it,
need
yeah.
I need to get a part for that. There's just a bolt sticking in there that's all loose. You're right. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Again, that's not like the motor. Like, 1999 Honda Prelude SH, 200 horsepower. Still have it today. 460,000 miles. Says Lead on Steel. Damn, bro. That Honda Accord have the V6 or the i4? Both of them are V6. Yeah. Yeah, the four cylinders, like, I don't know, they last forever, but they don't make as much power. It sucks, kind of. My first car was a Pontiac Parisienne. Basically a knockoff fucking Cadillac. And it had it was like a 5.2 liter V8, right? Like huge fucking motor, but made like 180 horsepower. So it had a V8 motor with like a 5.2 liter V8 motor and made 100, because that's just how cars were back then. They had giant fucking motors that didn't really do very much. I don't know why. It's that American made shit. That's the only American made car I've ever had. I had a German car. I had a Volkswagen Fox, and I fucking loved that thing because it was a little tiny fucking four-door car, but didn't weigh very much. Four-banger, but it was a manual. And that thing, I don't know, it drove like a fucking go-kart, but I drove it like a race car. Like everywhere I went, I was banging through the gears and doing shit. Lead on Steel says, you know what they say about Pontiac being a Cadillac? I don't know. What do they say, Lead on Steel? You should tell us what they say about Pontiacs. Especially what the N means. No one? Nothing? Okay, fine.
No.
Idea.
Anyway, I guess it's enough car talk. I currently own more vehicles than I've ever owned in my entire life. You know, like, because I've got the RAV, but then the two kids have Hondas, but like I helped one buy one and I bought the other one. So basically those are kind of my cars too, the way I look at it. Because especially if something breaks on them, like I'm kind of responsible for fixing them because, you know, it's my son's cars, but they're like young. They don't know shit. So, and then my car, and then I've got two motorcycles. It's like, Jesus, dude. Too many
Just rolling in dough.
Not
Rich
really.
bastard.
It's like, okay,
Rich bastard.
the Toyota was my sister's car that she gave to me when she died, right? So it's a nice car, but I didn't really pay anything for it. And then the Hondas, I paid a total of $2,100 of my own money for those. So two cars for $2,100. The KLR cost $500. And the FZ6 costs $1,100. So what is that? $2,000, $3,100, like $3,600 total that I've spent on all of those vehicles. If you don't count like maintenance and repairs and shit, just like the initial cost. So suck it. It's more like I worked really hard for those. You know what I mean? NC Lucky says my first car had a 352 big block motor, and wouldn't have anything that didn't have a V8. I'll pay the price.
V8 or nothing for you, huh?
I mean, what's so great about a V8? I don't really care about a V8. I've had 4 cylinders. I've had, 6 cylinders, and I've had 8 cylinders. The only 8 I ever had, I guess, was that first car.
Yeah,
And
I'm okay with a V6. Matter of fact, the first car I ever drove was a V6. It was a V6 minivan, but
Oh, V6s usually make pretty good power, dude. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't know. German V8 is the only V8 worth having, says Let on Steel. Are you an Audi guy? Does Audi make a V8 fucking Audi? I don't even know.
Loaded.
Anyway, yeah,
I
man.
think they should
What
bring
else is
back the
going on in the
V6
world?
Mustang. Yeah, my bad.
What's
Go
up?
ahead. No, I
Oh,
said I just think they should bring back the V6 Mustang.
What is the Mustang 5.0? Like, what's the motor? Because it's a 500 horsepower motor, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know. Like it's 4-cylinder turbo now, right?
Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up, shall we? We're looking for
Some
500 horsepower Mustang motor. Mustang Dark Horse features a nuclearly engineered 5-liter Coyote V8 producing 500 horsepower. So there you go. It's a V8. Coyote. See, Eduardo knows it.
Yeah, like the EcoBoost is the 4-cylinder turbo.
6, I think. The Ford one.
How much is that?
Dude, who's skidding a cat?
Not me.
I heard the
my
cat
wife.
thing too.
That's Muffin Top.
His cat alarm. Just ignore it and hopefully it dies.
Why don't you just kill it?
It's not very nice.
It sounds like it's dying already. Just put it out of its misery.
It's a really nice cat when it's silent.
Give it some cat poo or cat food. Give it some of that catnip, bro.
That's why it's fucking meowing, because it's a fat bastard and it's already eaten everybody's food.
Need once
Like a
more.
fat cat.
Yeah.
Is his name Garfield? If I ever had a
Yeah.
cat, his name would be Garfield.
I prefer
Yeah.
outside cats, like farm cats. I don't like inside cats.
So you was a Garfield guy and not a Heathcliff guy?
Yeah, who watches Heathcliff? What is
I
Heathcliff?
don't even know what that is.
Shoot the cat.
Oh, I'm surprised that you're
Flicks the
not.
cat. I like Felix.
Yeah. Felix.
Felix.
Now see, Muffin Top, Heathcliff came on after Garfield.
Is that right?
Yeah, on like Saturday mornings.
I'll take your word on that.
I feel like Heathcliff is Wish.com Garfield. Before there was a Wish.com. Like a pre-Wish.com Garfield.
At least it ain't
Shelby is
snack proof.
producing a Mustang with 1,100 horsepower twins supercharged 5.0. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Well, I'm sure that's gonna go right into a fucking wall. It's like, yeah, that's how those Mustangs always do it. They're like, oh, check out, I'm gonna fucking do a burnout, and then they like fucking burn out right into a barrier, right into a car, right into a wall or something.
You know what? But it's the same as people who buy like their first Lamborghinis, right? It just go right into a wall, you know. Same thing.
Or you drive it through a cornfield and it burns up. Preston says, screw horsepower, you need more torque. Well, the real trick is the more horsepower you make, the more you can convert to torque.
So you're saying that you like electric sports cars, huh, Preston?
Well, I mean, that's one thing those old V8s had, you know, like that car that I had that only made like 180 horsepower. probably made about 200 fucking foot-pounds of torque. Like, it was something ridiculous like that. Dude, that was one of the dumbest things I ever did in my life. Was that very car, that first car. There was this giant hill that was kind of by the house that and it was this huge hill that had a road on it that was completely straight, that you could see every direction for like fucking miles to know if there was a cop there, to see the oncoming traffic. You know what I mean? Like, it was like this perfect road to get like maximum speed in your vehicle, to see how fast you could go, like going down the hill especially, right? So I'm coming down this hill and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking gun it and just see how fast I can get this thing to go. And it's going and going and going a little bit faster. It gets to the point where it's like not really gaining any more speed. And I look down at the odometer, right? And it only went up to 85 because this was like an old car. And like that, like a lot of cars, just like it didn't even go to 100 on most of the fucking odometers, right? It had gone past 85 all the way to 0, where there was like this little nub that sticks up that stops the fucking needle from going past 0, so it can just rest on 0. Well, it was resting on the other side of 0. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was going so fast, I buried the needle back to 0. So I'm like, I should probably slow down. So I took my foot off the gas and I touched the brake. I just touched it. I didn't hit it hard. I just touched it. And the whole car starts violently shaking and shimmering and and oh my God, like, I had no control over the wheel for a second. Just thankfully it fucking happened to just keep going straight, because that's where all the momentum was going. And man, that fucking 10 seconds of slowing down felt like 5 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I almost died that day in that car, but I didn't. We're still here. You're welcome.
Good work.
Anyway, torque is what lets you go up hills without having downshift. Horsepower is torque plus RPM. Well, horsepower is torque over time, right? But you can turn horsepower into more torque with basically mechanical means. So having more horsepower is not a bad thing. It just depends on how you like it. That's all. I don't know. Fuck off. Yeah. I would like to have a pickup truck, though. That's one thing I've never had. I've never owned a pickup truck. I've always wanted one.
That new electric one that's coming out, that's only like 25 G's, and you can make it like a Suburban type deal. Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, but then you're giving your money to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But
I would love a truck like that. Just like no options, crank windows, no radio and shit. Like, I'd buy that. That'd be sweet.
I feel with pickup trucks, it's always hard to find a parking spot.
No.
It's such a long ass vehicle. Yeah.
No, man, if there's no parking spot, you just go park where there's fucking not a spot. You're good to go.
I mean, it depends on the truck.
Says
right?
easy. Right.
Like, if you have like a F-250, yeah, you kind of got a point. Like, they're fucking big and gangly and long, and like the turning radius sucks and that kind of thing. But man, that Silverado that I used to drive, I drove that like a car. Like,
yeah. Dude, I got a 67 Chrysler 300. It is almost fucking 2 foot longer than my crew cab truck.
I didn't know you were black.
No, I'm just poor. It's a muscle car that you can drive when you're broke, bro.
Yeah, but Muppet Top, you live in the middle of nowhere, so it's easy to find a parking spot.
That's true.
When you live in a big city, it's best to have a Volkswagen Beetle if you want a good parking spot.
A Beetle? Just a bike. You gotta go bike.
Right.
I do hate straight parking, though. A lot of parking here is angled because a lot of people have trucks. So,
okay.
So when you parked, you're like, "Hey,
what's up, girl?"
So you have a 10-mile twisting road through the mountains, right? And for some reason you can't drive. let's say you're temporarily blind. You got sprayed in the eyeballs with wasp spray, and your eyes don't work now. And
No.
someone's going to take you to the hospital. And your options are a woman or a drunk man. Who do you choose?
Drunk man. That's easy.
Wow.
You didn't have to think about it.
This might be why you're single. I don't know.
Do you
But
know
he's
how
not
many-
dead.
Do you know how many times a drunk man that took me home after the club?
Wait.
Oh,
Why,
wait a
why are
minute.
drunk men taking you home?
Wait a minute there,
Well, you
Leo.
know,
You're going home with dudes from the club when you're drunk?
all the time back in the day.
Oh my god. I mean, you're just owning it, so there's no longer. It's not funny anymore. It's just.
I mean, $40 is $40.
Jeez. Just
Well,
kidding.
I guess I'm changing my answer. I was gonna say I'd trust the drunk guy, but after Leo just went down the Bill Cosby fucking.
Now, okay, to be honest, the drunk guys are usually my uncles or cousins.
That's even
We all
makes
go
it
as a
worse.
family to the bar.
That makes it way worse.
Now, we keep it in the family is quite better.
Oh my god.
And plus, there's no flipper babies, so
Oh my god.
no one gets pregnant.
Well, I don't know. There's that one family who lives in like West Virginia or some shit who've been inbreeding for like 3 generations.
Which my family is from,
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Whitesville, West Virginia. Yep.
Have you? I don't know what the name of this family is, but like many of them are nonverbal, and they've all got like eyes that point in different directions, and fucking they all look fucking like weird and disgusting, and like none of them can read. And
Why are you
Or if
describing
you talk,
Leo
you
word
know.
for word?
I mean, is it a random woman or like my wife or mom or sister? Random woman, random drunk guy. And to be fair, he's not like blackout drunk. He's just inebriated.
Is he a hillbilly or is he like a city boy?
I don't think that matters. You choose.
I'll take the drunk guy.
Sober enough to know what he's doing, but drunk enough to enjoy it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's drunk
There you
enough
go.
to have a good time, but sober enough to realize the consequences. Potentially. Some of the consequences.
Heck yeah. The guy, for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking the drunk guy too, I think. Okay, here's another question. We've all heard what was it, like 100 dudes versus one gorilla?
Gorilla, yeah. Those
We're
things
getting
are
him.
funny. All the memes and stuff.
What about 10 Mike Tysons at his prime?
Ooh.
Like Iron Mike Tyson, ready to fight, pissed off, versus one gorilla. Do you think 10 Mike Tysons could take out a gorilla?
No.
I don't know, man.
I think if you hit a gorilla in the face as hard as you could and you're Mike Tyson, the gorilla's getting hurt. And if you
Yeah, I
got
was
10 of them
totally
coming
gonna
at
feel
you,
it.
like
Not
maybe
before
you
he rips
smash
off your
one or
nuts
two
and
of
your
them.
arms.
Maybe you smash and bite one or two of their dicks off or whatever, you know? As the gorilla, not as Mike Tyson.
All right, 10 Mike Tysons and 1 Ozzy Osbourne.
The
I think Ozzy, dude, half of Mike Tyson would destroy Ozzy Osbourne.
right.
The thing is, like, Ozzy is not going to feel it.
No, the 10
Are we-
Mikes are going to hold the gorilla down. Ozzy's going for the dick.
I don't
Oh,
care if
no.
you're talking Ozzy of today or like Ozzy at his prime. He was too high either way to know what was going on
Right.
or to mount a defense. Now, if it was Ozzy versus a bat, like, yeah, dude, the bat's fucked.
Yeah.
Ozzy versus a Chihuahua, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd do some sadistic shit to that Chihuahua if he was forced to. Do you ever fucking like? Okay, this is a dude thing, and I find myself doing it quite often, and I don't even realize I'm doing it half the time.
Fat.
Sizing other dudes up. You guys size
Oh,
other dudes up?
Definitely.
Yep. Got to look for the weaknesses, man.
I'm
Should I
constantly doing it. Like I don't mean to, but I'm always looking at people like, all right, that guy probably would don't fuck with that guy right there. That one probably fucked me up. But anyone else in this room?
Right, that kind of lets me know, like, should I grab for the balls or not?
Oh my god.
What the
Balls or
fuck?
throat. Balls
Oh
or
my-
throat. That's
Leo,
what I'm going
what
for.
have you been up to today, man? Everything okay?
Yes.
Leo, did you experiment this week?
I am an open book.
I feel
Not
like
a doctor.
you've been
But
hanging
if I
out
were, I'd write you a
with
script,
fucking Ray
post
Ray
that
or
later.
like what's going on?
I think everything I'm just saying just comes out slightly sus. I know. I can't help it for some reason today.
First they take your guns, then your balls.
Damn. It's tough.
They go for your balls. That's what they do.
Yeah, speaking of that, they now introduced a bill into Illinois to ban Glocks just like California. So, yay.
Damn.
Whoopee.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's time to get the fuck out of the states we live in.
Nebraska's good.
I'm saying Colorado and Illinois,
Yeah.
California, New Jersey, New York, Washington, Oregon, Hawaii. Where else?
Missouri.
You know what? If I was in Hawaii, I think I'd be still okay. You know? Walk the mean streets of Honolulu. I think I'd be okay.
Like Hawaii is supposedly one of the hardest states to get a gun in.
Right.
Super expensive to live there.
Well, there's that too, but
Who would I be worried about? Dog the bounty hunter? Really?
no, you got to worry about the locals who hate you. It's like, okay, if you've never been to Hawaii, there's local people who live in Hawaii who hate everyone else who's not from Hawaii, which is like basically the whole rest of the world. They just hate everybody. Because here's what happens. The whole rest of the world comes to Hawaii for their vacation. So these Hawaiian people have dealt with tourism and bullshit from people who have money to be like fucking pretentious and pompous and narcissistic and whatever else, right? Again and again and again and again and again. And then they come in and they buy up the land and they do things. And, you know, like they just hate everyone who's not from fucking Hawaii. And even if you were like, you live in Hawaii and you weren't born and raised there, they fucking hate you too. They probably hate you even more because you're like driving up the price of housing. You know what I mean?
I'll be just like that one South Park episode. I am a native Hawaiian.
Like my freshman year of college, there was a sister school in Kauai where if you got accepted to the Kauaian school, you could come to Colorado and come to the college that I went to and pay in-state tuition. And Kauai is kind of a small fucking island. So if you got accepted to like one of the two colleges on the island and you had an opportunity to go to the mainland, like somewhere in Colorado, who fucking cares, dude? Let's get the fuck off of this fucking island. It's great. It's fantastic. Let's go. So there was like a whole population of these Hawaiian kids who went to school at my school. But the funny thing was, they'd throw parties and the only people who could come were the Hawaiians. It's like, bro, fuck you guys. Like,
That's why I can't. That's why I'm not mad for us taking over the island. Like, hey, you should have fought for it. Too bad.
well, it's just funny when they finally come, like, they get off their island, like, we're tired of all of this island shit, blah, blah, blah. And they get to America and they're like, island boy.
Yeah.
I hate those guys.
What's up with them making out with each other?
What?
What?
Have you not seen
Oh,
that?
they were brothers.
They
No.
are brothers. Have you not seen this?
No, I hate them.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Talk about
No.
something. There's something you need to see.
man. I don't.
I
wanna
know
see
one of them
any
got
that
knocked
shit.
out during like a celebrity boxing match in the first round.
Yeah, he's a little bitch.
Mahala rewards card. That's what it was.
Mahala, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I am a
We need
native
more
Hawaiian.
choo-choos.
Right.
All right, are you ready for this?
I'm scared.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Because this is pretty bad.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
They're just practicing
Onion
for layoff.
boy. Yeah, they're fucking gay faggot, fucking inbreed, fucking faggots.
One of them has a kid, but now I'm scared.
If they blew each other, that would have been less gay. The kiss of his neck.
Oh my god.
And no, I don't think that's AI. Maybe it is, but
I hope. You know.
More Twitter.
it's not. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to fucking, maybe that should have been the warning. Warning. This video may include gay shit that's gonna fucking make your fucking eyeballs fall out.
That's close.
George Cortez says his eyes are blessing.
Yeah, well, there you go. You can't unsee it. It's like one guy, one
Nope.
cup. Once you've seen it, you will never unsee it.
It's one man, one jar, but yes.
Muffin Top has been to the island, apparently.
No, I haven't.
Muffin, that was one time I wouldn't have to be right.
Muffin Top felt offended. Like, no,
It was a jar,
it's
sir.
one jar. All right.
The worst part. Yeah, anyway,
What's the worst part?
nothing. I'm good.
The bleeding?
Yes, that was the worst part.
Anal fissure.
Didn't he die?
I hope so.
I don't think.
I heard that he died, but it's like one of those things like, how are you going to confirm that? I'm not sure.
I know Mr. Hands died.
Who?
Mr. Hands.
What is that?
No, that's the one that let the horse bang him.
What?
Yeah,
It just
no
gets
idea what
worse the
you're
more
talking
y'all
about.
talk about it.
So, dude, liked horse banging, and he let a horse bang him. He death by snoo-snooed by a horse.
Yeah.
what the fuck are we doing on this chat right now?
Yeah, there's a whole video of it.
Jesus, dude. Well, that's one we're
I
not
thought you
watching
seen that,
tonight.
right?
Just so you guys know out in the chat, we will not be watching the death by snoo-snoo from a horse video.
Oh my god.
That will not
I
be on
thought
the
we
menu
talked about
tonight.
this. Well, that was probably on Matt's
But
show.
Leo coming up with that is very fitting for the theme of the night, which is Leo says some gay ass shit.
Good work, Leo.
Back to Twitter for more news.
Yeah, what else is going on in the world? Anybody
I
but
feel like they
Leo.
just don't get you, Leo.
Love you, Leo.
Yeah, I should just take off the rest of the night.
Gayest Honda live stream of all time. I think you might be right. This is. We don't even have any gays here. It's the gayest fucking live stream we've ever done. Dude, we used to be infested with gays. You remember that?
Yes.
Like every time you'd show up for a chat, it's like, hello. It's like, great. What fucking faggotry are you getting into today, gay Jedi? I mean,
I'm about to
gray
say
Jedi
you do the best.
or derpy or
You
Oh my
do the
God.
best Jedi voice. Because the great Jedi, he got his voice down pat.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I had to clean shit up. I got a little tired of things. I got called some names. Some people hated me for a little while because they called me anti-gay or something. And I'm not. I'm not anti-gay. You can do the gay things you want, all the fucking gay stuff you want to do. You want to fucking like take 10 dicks at the same time while you're fucking like doing whatever. That's fine, dude. You go ahead and you do that. But what I do not like is that shit in my house. And this chat is an extension of my house because right now, you know where I'm at? I'm in my house. Yeah, I live in Colorado, Kirk Butterfield. You're right. Oh my God, all the gay shit outside. You know where it's not?
At home.
In my bedroom. So yeah, again, gay shit, have fun. Gay shit on my chat, I'm not really down with that, dude. That's not what I'm trying to fucking talk about. I'm sorry. Call that homophobic, call that what you will. Are you guys Islamophobic, speaking of phobias?
Not really.
I don't know if it's
No.
phobia.
No, I'm not scared of
More like a
Islam.
hate, maybe, but
Well, and thank you for that. That was going to be my point, Mr. Tactical Muffin Top, that a phobia, by definition, is an irrational fear of something. So, like, if you have, like, arachnophobia, you have an irrational fear of spiders. If a spider lands on your hand and you go, you don't have arachnophobia. You're, you just had you were afraid of a spider for a second that landed on your hand.
Yeah, caught
If
off
the
guard.
thought of a spider freaks you out and terrifies you so bad that you can't fucking, like, you start feeling stuff crawl on you, and you know what I mean? Like, you see stuff out of the corner of your eye and you think it's a spider and you freak out. That would be arachnophobia. That would be an irrational fear of spiders, especially in that case would be like spiders that aren't even there, Having an irrational fear of Islam as a religion you'd have to basically not have any knowledge whatsoever of the jizya or the way that they spread their religion and have a bunch of babies in a new area until they have enough kids to fucking start implementing Sharia law in the country that they go into, and how they treat women. And hey, how about how they treat gays? Do they just kick them off the chat? Are they rude to them until they leave the chat? Or do they throw them off buildings?
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure they throw them off buildings. So is it irrational to be not afraid? I wouldn't say I would be afraid of Islamic people or Islam as a religion, but certainly apprehensive and in opposition to those things because of previously stated reasons. That's not Islamophobia. That's not an irrational fear of something. That's looking at an external threat and calling it a threat and saying, not in my house.
I have a YN phobia.
Okay, is that irrational? Or is
You know
that
what? It's
fear
pretty
been
rational.
cultivated over years of repeated exposure that ended negatively?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. It's not irrational. Right? It's yeah. When you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty rational fear.
Yeah.
In that case.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, like if I'm walking down the street and there's like a YN walking towards me, I'm usually like, I'm not afraid at all. If I'm walking down the street and there's a dozen YNs walking towards me, I'm going the other way. I'm crossing the street. I'm going to my car. You know what I mean? And call that irrational. I don't think you can call that irrational. I think that's completely rational.
Good man, pull that 6-shooter.
Yeah, it's called survival skills.
I lived in Thornton in 2009 when Michael Jackson died.
Where's Thornton?
I feel like those are two, like, Thornton, Colorado in 2009 had nothing to do with Michael Jackson dying. But
what is Thornton full of YNs?
Not the best place.
Okay.
There's worse. If it was Aurora, then I'd be like, yeah, get the fuck out of there. Well, like, I don't know. Aurora's kind of weird. Like, you hear about Aurora, Colorado all the time in the news, and the shooting in Aurora, Colorado, blah blah blah, and the gang members taking over apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and blah 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 blah. Right? Well, Aurora, if you look at it on a map, is one of the largest sprawling cities that you've ever fucking seen in your life, because one thing that Aurora likes to do is incorporate new areas so that they can gain new tax revenue, because they like tax revenue. So more and more places over the years have become part of Aurora. Some of them, some parts of Aurora, really high-end areas where you'd have to be rich as fuck to live. And it's technically Aurora, right? Other parts of Aurora, some of them especially, are like you're going to get your car stolen, you're going to get your wallet stolen, you're going to get jumped late at night, you're going to see a fucking random shooting, you're going to, like things are going to go down. And then there's a bunch of it that's kind of in between. But like, yeah, some of the worst places in Colorado, I think, are all in Aurora.
So if you're in Denver, what places not to go?
Aurora.
Wait, so,
Northern Denver.
Aurora's in Denver?
There's a place called Federal Heights that is...
I mean, next to Denver.
Basically like fucking Mexican gangland area, like cartels and fucking like there's families and stuff that live there too, I'm sure, or whatever. But man, if you want cocaine or whatever, that's where you got to go. Also, a lot of shootings and stabbings and car thefts and that kind of thing. So that's not a great area. Northern Denver in general, not so great. Eastern Denver in general, not that great. Downtown these days, kind of stay away from there. Southern or Western Denver, pretty good. Those are pretty nice parts. If you're in like South Denver, like where I'm at, but even that, like even now, there's so many homeless people everywhere, bro. Like that's becoming the problem now. Is like not so much the crime in South Denver, it's that the homeless people have realized that's where the nicer parts of Denver are, and you make more money begging there. So they've all kind of like migrated south and south and south. And like, there's this place called Castle Rock that's like outside of Denver, right? But not by much. It's a pretty short drive to get to Castle Rock. And a bunch of homeless people ended up there, and they just keep putting them on buses and sending them back up to Denver. They're like, fuck that shit. Get out of our fucking town. And they had a deal with RTD, which is like the Denver busing system, They canceled the deal with RTD so that RTD can't run to Castle Rock anymore and bring homeless people. They had to like pay for their own busing system within the city. Because they didn't want to have RTD. They didn't want to have the RTD fucking riffraff coming down. Anyway. Calhoun says, read my last chat, you gay frog. Maybe George W. had Iraqnophobia.
Mm-hmm.
He had an irrational fear of weapons of mass destruction that weren't there anymore. I mean, man, that's a whole rabbit hole to even talk about. Let's just say, from my point of view, that George Bush and the powers that should not be made up the weapons of mass destruction as an excuse to go into Iraq and Afghanistan, blaming 9/11 on them, knowing full well that it was their own fucking cronies in the CIA who pulled off 9/11 in the first place. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it, hippies.
Yeah, hippies.
My cousin lives in Castle Rock. I mean, Castle Rock's a nice place. I lived there for a couple years. That's fine. I like Castle Rock. It's not far from where I live now.
Where's Casa Bonita at?
Casa Bonita is like northern Denver. That's like Thornton. Kind of the ghetto, actually.
Damn. That's where I want to go.
I mean, Casa Bonita itself is fine, though. You can go in there, and it'll be great.
Just once you get to the parking lot, you got to run to your car.
Just don't veer off the, like, Google Maps tells you to go here, go there.
Right.
Follow the directions. That's all. You'll be all right. Have I ever been to Casa Bonita? Not in a long time. When I was a kid, we went, I think, 2 or 3 times to Casa Bonita. And it is exactly like that South Park episode. Like, they fucking nailed it. Because they're from Colorado, too. And that's something that if you were from Colorado back in the day, there were only so many places that you can go, right? There was this place called Celebrity Sports Center. which was, oh, dude, and they don't have it anymore. Like, Celebrity's gone now. But it used to be a indoor water park with water slides and stuff. And then they had an arcade. So, like, you know, a big-ass arcade with all the games that you would want to play.
The
They had
PP.
bowling alley. Like, they had, like, I don't know how many fucking bowling lanes, like a whole fuck ton of them. And they, you know, like, serve pizza and whatever. Like, if you had, like, a birthday when you were a kid in Colorado, chances are you were doing it at Celebrity Fun Center. Or, excuse me, Celebrity Sports Center. Casa Bonita, of course. And then there was skiing. So, like, that's all we had when I was a kid.
Hey, sometimes really that's all you need, really.
Yeah. I mean, we skied a lot when I was a kid, bro. Like, that's all we, like, every winter, especially when, like, my brother turned 16 and we had a car, you know, fucking didn't need parents anymore. I had a season pass, which back then the 5 Mountain Pass was like $400. Now the 5 Mountain Pass is like $2,000 fucking dollars or something. Like, it's ridiculously expensive. But yeah, during the winter for like that, you know, 12, 14 weeks, whatever it is, that it's really good snow up there, we would go up there 12, 14 fucking times. And man, like, I wouldn't have shit for money because, like, all my money went to buying the pass, buying my skis, and paying for gas for the car to get up there and back. And for you had to pay like $10 for parking, right? So that was like all of our money. We had nothing left over. So what you do is go to the food court, and they had a little area with like hot water. If you bought like a fucking ramen noodle, you could fucking put hot water in your thing or make hot chocolate or something like that. And then they had like salt and pepper and crackers and ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and all the things that you would want for your burger or your hot dog or whatever you'd buy at the food court. But if you had nothing, what you could do is fill up a little cup with ketchup, hot water, salt, pepper, and crackers, and turn it into tomato soup, which, if you're starving, actually was pretty fucking good. Like, believe it or fucking not. Oh yeah, Cinderella City, Elitch Gardens, dude, none of your business knows. But
yeah, for me, my best weekends back in the day was what me and my cousins used to do. Six Flags in the morning, bowling at night, but there was bowling plus arcades, and then we hang out by the liquor store and try to get adults to buy us liquor and Black and Miles. So that's what we did during the weekend. Like, we used to catch the train to the suburbs.
you go to the burbs.
Yeah.
So you were the YN.
Yes, we basically was. All my cousins get together, go to the suburbs, so where my family lived in Lake County. Right, do we go to Six Flags, hit the bowling alleys, arcades, hang out by the liquor store, and try to get someone to give us some alcohol and some Black and Miles.
Dude, a couple of years ago, I bought. They had some deal at Six Flags here in Denver, where you get like a season pass for cheap, you know. So I bought 3 season passes for me and the 2 kids, and the idea was like during the summer, whenever we have a day off when we don't know what to do, we can just go to Six Flags and hang out and ride some rides and do some stuff. It'll be fun. We went 2 times. The first time, there were so like they sold them so cheap that everyone bought them, and then all of these like Hispanic people had like fucking ghetto ass kids, and they would just drop them off at Elitch Gardens and leave them. So the kids were like completely unsupervised, just running around Elitch Gardens the entire fucking day, cutting in lines, being assholes, stealing stuff from vendors, knocking stuff over, causing fucking mayhem, right? And we're like, fuck this shit, right? So we didn't come back. And then we got an email from Elitch Gardens saying like, oh, hey, don't everybody, like, we've been having such problems with this at Elitch Gardens. We're sorry about that. We're going to require that all kids under the age of 18 or whatever, 16, I think is what it was, are there with an adult supervisor. That way this kind of thing doesn't happen in the future, blah, 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 blah. So we're like, all right, fine. We'll try it again. And we go back and we're inside and there was some sort of a gang fight where like 100 people were fighting in Elitch Gardens and like running around punching each other. And like there was someone who got stabbed and all this other shit happened. We're just like, you know what? We don't really need roller coasters. We'll be all right. Like
There was something similar here years ago at a place called IX Indoor Amusement Park.
go on.
Yeah, a bunch of YNs started fighting each other inside of it, and they're like, fuck that, adult supervision only, or get the fuck out.
Yeah, so yeah, like back where I live, like the nearest McDonald's, they close at a certain time, so you can only order from like the window when like all the schools get out, like the high school students. So they're closed for like 2 hours, and you have to pick your food up from the window. Couldn't go inside.
Oh, because they just know that it's going to be such a problem.
Yep.
From experience.
Yep.
Or like the gas stations that will only let like 1 or 2 people in at the same time.
Yep.
And then they lock the door. Or the Walmart where you need an attendant with you in every single aisle that you go through when you need something, like whatever it is that you need an attendant because everything's behind glass and lock and key.
I know this place that called Cook Brothers. You have to leave your children at the front, right, at the front of the store, then shop. Right, it's a small session they had off. Like children go here, and only the adults can go inside.
Why? Because kids are stealing shit when the adults are with them?
I have no idea, but probably because kids mess up stuff, and the adults don't care.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem with society, man. Is like the kids are fucking up, and the adults are just like, "Oh no, not my problem, my kid." And then the kids grow up, and then they have no respect or self-control, or you know what I mean. They have anger management problems because they were raised by violent, fucking ignorant people, and then they are both violent and ignorant, and they just pass it on. Sucks, dude. And then like smart people are like, well, I don't want to have kids in this fucking world, like I don't want to raise kids in this fucking cesspool. So they have less kids, and then we get like idiocracy on crack.
Yep. Like I know where I work at, it'd be like a whole playpen in the toy section that's just going on, and the parents don't stop them.
Yeah, I see that all the time, dude.
Yeah, like
just completely ignoring the kid while the kid does whatever he wants, and like the kid's like doing shit that if I did that when I was a kid, I would have got beat.
Yeah.
But they don't even get looked at, Calvin says, seeing gas stations and liquor stores like that are how I know I'm in a bad area when I'm traveling.
Right. Gas station, check, cash, and play.
Yeah, next
liquor
to a
store.
pawn shop,
right?
next to a liquor store.
Like, oh shit, where am I?
Gun store, liquor store, pawn shop. Like, fuck.
That's right. Now, who's that? Was that Chris Rock?
I think it was Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave Chappelle. Okay.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. I love Costco, dude. Costco's my shit. One time, I was getting groceries at Costco. We got done checking out. I was wearing gym shorts for some reason when we were shopping, and we were loading up everything into the car. And like because I was wearing gym shorts, my wallet fell out of my pocket onto the ground. Didn't notice. Got in the car, drove away. 10 minutes later, was at the gas station. Like, okay, let's fill up on gas now. Realized my wallet was gone. Drove back to Costco, and they had it waiting for me. Every dollar was there. Everything was fine. I ran over my own wallet with my own car, so I kind of smashed it a little bit, but everything was there and everything was fine. Someone turned it in.
Nice.
If that had been fucking Walmart, I'd never seen that shit again.
Oh, no. Even if the employee finds it, you still never see that again.
Yeah, exactly. If the employee finds it, you're seriously never seeing it again. Like at least maybe like the old woman who goes into Walmart, you might have a chance.
Right.
But even then, the old woman turns it into the front desk at Walmart. There's a chance
Yep.
they're going to be like, okay, well, we found your wallet, but as for the money,
Yeah, somebody must have took it out before they gave it to us. But
You know
then,
you're in a
I'd rather
bad
get all my IDs back than my money. I mean, the money
mean-
wouldn't hurt, but right, it's the IDs that be a pain in the ass to get back.
depends on how much money, you know.
Yeah.
Like I work for cash, so I tend to have a lot of cash in my wallet. You know you're in a bad area when every bar has a bail bondsman office by it, and all the bars have windows and doors. Wait, and all of the bars? Oh, all of them have bars on the windows and doors.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm like, yeah, the bars have windows and doors. You're right. Like, sorry.
You go into a restaurant and see nothing but the bulletproof glass, and like, oh shit.
Or like all the houses have bars over the windows.
You're right.
That's how you know you're in a bad area, because they need bars over the windows so you can't fucking break in. At least easily.
Let them come in. Hashtag human compost, question mark.
Wasn't it Chicago where they had the community garden that failed like utterly terribly and everyone just fucking stole from it?
I don't know. We have a bunch of community gardens.
Oh,
They're all over the place. So.
Well,
It's an Ohio question. He'd know.
I forget. Maybe it was New York. I'm not sure. There was some famous like community garden where like, oh, it's gonna be so great, blah blah blah, and then like some homeless people just came and like ate everything and shat on everything.
There was the famous Chaz garden that the cops actually took better care of than the idiots that made it.
The Chaz. How is the Chaz doing? I wonder these days. The Chaz and the Chop. The Chop Chaz.
Well, it finally got knocked down about, what was it, 25 days after it started or whatever?
Nah, they made it longer than a month.
Well, where they fucked up was, it was the Seattle marriage knee jerk at the time that was cool with it, until they're like, well, we're going to make a second one on your front lawn, bitch. Within a day, that place was gone.
Now, actually, I think when it was when like Yankee came, then that's when it all went to hell.
I'm an ally.
I think Yankee is the one who messed it up. He messed everything up.
I wonder if there's any fucking crazy takes from the Yankee Marshal that he's made videos about. The Yankee Marshal.
I know he's still defending Sig. But, you know.
Guns that are just novelties. Gray guns. Wait, what is this? He likes the SIG P320, I guess. The worst gun channels. Yankee goes full retard 1 month ago. Kind of want to watch this. You guys want to watch a Yankee video to fucking close out?
Yes.
Look at that new Toyota in the back chat.
I feel like you're giving me a side mission that I can't do right now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Hey, everybody, Yankee here. I want to warn everyone out there that I'm going to be kind of playing the part of a grumpy old man in this video. I'm going to be grouching a lot, complaining a lot. It's going to seem like I am a boomer before this video is over, but I am not.
Normal.
I actually missed it by a year or
It will
two.
be completely
I'm Gen
normal.
X, which means don't pick me off or I'll cut you. So be careful. But like I said, going to be doing some complaining.
Dude, wait, okay, hold on real quick. You see these MSNBC eyes that he's got? They're like looking in two different directions. They're always like open extra wide. They're never pointed at the same thing. He's got crazy eyes, man. Yankee has crazy fucking eyes.
Before this video is over, but I'm not. I actually missed it by a year or two. I'm Gen X, which means don't tick me off or I'll cut you. So be careful. But like I said, going to be doing some complaining and some griping here because someone asked me a question in my chat the other night that I want to answer. People were asking me, what are some good gun channels to watch? And I really didn't know because I don't watch a lot of gun channels anymore. Because let's face it, a lot of them have gone downhill. A lot of them become nothing but sales channels, political channels where they're just intent on keeping you divided, keeping you angry. So I just prefer to watch my wrestling videos, my podcasts on wrestling. I prefer to watch, car videos. I've been watching. He's from Canada. He does reviews of old cult horror movies. What are the worst gun channels? What are the ones no one should watch? And why are they so bad?
I hope he names me.
Why is this happened? Why have so many gun channels gone down the path of being divisive and hateful? And red is right and blue is wrong, and Democrats are crazy and Republicans are the saviors of all of us and all this stuff. Why has it gotten to like that in the gun community? We were so together and all focused on gun rights, 2012. Why is it now that it's all just fear and hatred and division and all that stuff? Why are these channels so bad? And you know what? I have to answer that now after thinking about it for a while. I'm like, are the channels actually that bad, or is it the audience? Because let's face it, most of these guys don't give two shits about the Second Amendment. They care about saying something that makes them popular, gets them views, and makes them money, gets them sponsorship, all that stuff.
Okay, so this is a popular view from leftists about right-wing ideology, and when people say things like abolish the Department of Education, right? And people on the left, their brain melts and they can't understand it. And then they say, oh, you know what it is? It's audience capture. It's that there's all of these maggots out there, all these MAGA retards that are out there that just, they have these crazy ideas. And if you want to be popular, if you want to have like a say in what goes on in the future, then you're going to take these views and you're going to espouse them because you want to have that pop. But actually, like, like as an example, the defund the Department of Education, get rid of the Department of Education movement that's happening in this country as a result of the gross inadequacies of the Department of Education and what's happening to our kids in these schools. They're not being educated. They're being propagandized, right? And if you see it, you don't unsee it. And if you don't see it, then it just seems like anyone who wants that is crazy because they're trying to like stop kids from getting educated. Like, that's insane, right? Why would you have that idea? Well, I can't think of a single reason because I don't understand the other side's point of view. So the only thing that I can think of is audience capture. They want to be popular. They, because that, I guess that view's popular. I don't know why, but that's the only reason that you would espouse that view, especially on a YouTube channel. Again, it's just not it's a straw man argument. But anyway,
that's all they're doing. They're running a business. A lot of them weren't even gun people before they started gun channels. A lot of them were in advertising and other stuff. They might like gun.
Okay, so there's another fucking. Is anyone getting into doing YouTube gun stuff to get rich? Because it seems to me that anyone who does anything having to do with guns on YouTube fucking gets immediately demonetized and fucking shadow banned on YouTube, and you have no reach whatsoever, and it's impossible to gain new audience, and like the algorithm's against you in every fucking way. So why would you be like, oh, you know what? I want to make YouTube money. Let me get a YouTube gun channel going because that's where the money. No, there's no fucking money in that, dude. There used to be. There was a point where that was true, where like people got into doing stuff on YouTube, particularly having to do with guns because the algorithm wasn't against them. I mean, we're talking before fucking Sandy Hook and all that shit, But nowadays, like that does not apply.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you're just a hot chick doing anything on YouTube, you're good.
Yeah, yeah. All you need is tits, and you're fucking golden. You're like retirement.
Yes.
Retirement plan is set. Anyway,
guns, but they saw that market open up and they jumped in because they saw money.
what
They
market?
smelled money.
What money?
And those are the channels that have gotten to be the worst, I think, nowadays. And it's
Like
not
who?
because they're actually the worst people.
Which
or
one?
that's just who they are. It's because that's what sells. People these days don't want to think. They want to be
Right, like you. You're not thinking right now, but go on.
justified in their anger. And they want to be assured of their opinion, whether they've done anything to gather any information to form an opinion or not. And a perfect example of that yesterday is I posted a video where the title was, surely even I can admit that, veterans who are suffering from depression or PTSD should have their guns taken from them. Because that was a quote someone said to me. Surely you can admit as a mental health professional that this is the case. And that's what I titled the video, because it was an outrageous statement. And in the video, I go, absolutely not. As a professional, I can tell you that that is one of the worst things to do. And I went on to back that up. And I gave multiple reasons why that's one of the worst things you should do if someone suffered from depression or PTSD, especially if they're a veteran.
Okay, I will say this. As someone who has gone through...
You're underwater.
Yeah, you're underwater.
Okay. You're still underwater? Still water?
Nope. No, you're
Still
good.
water. Okay, no more water. So, speaking as someone who has been through some pretty goddamn depressing shit, at a time when I was a gun owner. Like, granted, at the time, the only gun that I had was a shotgun. But when me and my ex broke up, there was a short period of time where I didn't want to have a gun in the house for reasons, And it's not like it was something I was planning on doing. It was, I just didn't want to even have the option in case I was drunk one night. And you know what I mean? I just wanted it away from me because I knew my state of mind. I knew that I was like pretty fucking negative and pretty fucking depressed about shit and pretty fucking prone to like go through fits of anger or whatever, So I got rid of that. I gave it to my nephew for it was maybe a couple months. And when I felt better, I took it back. And I didn't need anybody, there was no mental health organization that had to take it away from me or the state or whatever. But I recognized in myself that I shouldn't have it around. And I think that there are times when people probably should admit to themselves that with everything I've got going on right now and how depressed I am and how shitty this is and how maybe I should probably put the gun away for a minute, lock the safe, forget about the fucking combination, call my brother up, give him to him, get him back in 6 months kind of thing. And that's not a bad, that's not a bad idea. The bad idea is when the state can mandate it for arbitrary reasons and just come in and be like, oh, you talk to a mental health person about some issues that you're having. So therefore we have red flag laws and we're going to take all of your guns away. And you're going to have to go to like months of court dates and fucking like mental assessments to get them back, like that's when it like crosses a line. But I think there is a line where like, you should probably give your guns up for a minute, And I think that each of us should probably be an adult enough to recognize when we're in that position. I certainly did. Anyway.
But still, the people in my comment section, so many people came in and was like, you're not a Second Amendment supporter. You're a gun control advocate. You're a Bloomberg plant. Someone even said, oh, I knew this is what you'd say. I saw you wearing an Antifa shirt the other day in a chat. I was like, I don't own an Antifa shirt, period. So it's not only these people are, having opinions on information they don't have, but they're also making up stuff to support their own opinions, their own uneducated opinions. And that's America now. That's the gun community especially. It's like, don't bother me with the facts. Just tell me that what I already think is right. And that's why a lot of people who already don't like me, believe it or not, because I won't tell them what they want to hear, came on my channel yesterday and just left comment after comment about how, oh, you're supporting gun control. This is why veterans kill themselves. Oh, this is, the horrible thing. How can you support this kind of thing? And if they'd watched the video for even 2 minutes, they'd known I didn't.
I thought we were talking about gun channels that are the worst ones, and he was going to name names.
They know
Yeah,
it was the
that's all
exact
right,
opposite.
We're 5 minutes into this video. Not one name has been named.
But they're so self-assured in their opinion. I even had to say to some people, hey, did you watch the video? Because if you did, this comment you're making is kind of stupid. And if you didn't watch the video, but you still made a comment, well, that's even more stupid. So this is what we're dealing with in the gun community. And that's why these channels do this, because it's what sells. It's what you want. One of the reasons people don't like me is because I tell them things they don't want to hear. I don't jump to the, it's black and white conclusion on everything. I like, well, let's look at the gray in the middle. Let's look at the circumstances. Let's pay attention to what's really happening behind all the sound bites and executive orders and all that stuff. What's really happening? What are they really doing?
See, he just he gave his little poker hand tell right there. The executive orders and fucking quotations. He's got Trump derangement syndrome. He fucking does. Everyone who's watched Yankee long enough knows that he's drank enough MSNBC and CNN Kool-Aid to basically think that Trump is Hitler, and he's on board with it. But
people get mad. If you question their orange savior, they really get mad.
See?
If you say, well, he said this, what do you think of that? Oh, you're an anti-Trumper. No, I just said, here's what he said. What do you think of that? How do you reconcile that with your beliefs? That's who we're dealing with in the gun community now online. And that's why these channels suck so bad.
Which
because
channels?
they're catering to you. Don't be like that. I've told everyone throughout the history of my channel, if you don't like something I say, or you think something I say is wrong, come at me.
Yeah, okay, so let's address that real quick. What happened when I went on Yankees channel and tried to talk about 9/11 stuff? Was I able to
talk over you?
To give my opinion and have it heard and understood by anybody, including Yankee or anyone who was watching? The answer is no. He talked over me. He muted me. He talked me down. He called me names. He interrupted me in the middle of fucking saying something to make a point that was irrelevant to what I was saying. He purposely misunderstood things that I was saying and jumped to conclusions about stuff that I wasn't trying to jump to. It was one of the most frustrating conversations literally I've ever had in my entire life. And that night I swore off ever going on Yankees channel again because there was no point. I mean, it's if he'd given me a fair shake, let's say, right? And I was able to articulate the points that I wanted to articulate, and he was able to I don't know, somehow beat me in an argument about it. And then there was something else that I disagreed with him about. I'd be happy to come on and talk to him about it, because last time I went on, not only was I able to be heard, but he disproved my point and taught me something new. And that's fucking awesome. That'd be fantastic. I would love to learn something new and be proven wrong every day. I want to be wrong every day, because that means I'm just smarter every day. Right? Mm-hmm. But what actually happened was no one understood anything that I was trying to say because he didn't want them to. And he made it so that it was impossible for me to do that. So, yeah. If you want to have an argument with Yankee, I guess you can go on his channel, but you're not going to fucking win, because he's going to make sure that you don't.
Educate yourself. Do your research. Prove I'm wrong, and then come talk to me and educate me. I welcome it. And I also tell people who don't disagree with me, if you agree with me, then try twice as hard to prove I'm wrong. Educate yourself. And then if you can't prove I'm wrong, well, then we were both right. And you can feel comfortable in your opinion. You've done the homework. Most channels don't want you to do that. Most channels just tell you what you want to hear. They'll even lie to you. Oh, don't even.
I think he's lying to us right now.
Get me started on the stuff, the lies they told about the P320 and the stuff that's coming out now that's actual truth. If channels lie to you, if they try to make you angry just to make you angry, those are channels you shouldn't watch, period. If you find out they lied or To me, I wouldn't watch a single channel that jumped on the P320 bandwagon because that was sensationalism. They were doing the work of Bloomberg. It was all garbage, and it's becoming more evident it was garbage. But that's just
What is he talking about? The P320 fucking sensationalism? Like just people's like getting money or samples from SIG to shoot at the range, like the Such double O's of the world who love every gun that they shoot, right? Is that what he's talking about? And is the 320 like a really bad gun? I don't know. I don't have one. Anyway, I don't know.
just me. I don't like channels that lie to me. I don't like channels that are divisive. Those are the channels I would think are bad. But like I said,
Bro, okay. Yankee doesn't like channels that are... Has Yankee ever been divisive?
No.
No.
Yeah.
are they really being bad or are they just doing what it takes to be popular? And whose fault is that? Is that their fault? It's 1 in a million people making content. It's the other 999,999 people consuming it that determine what is profitable and what isn't. So you kind of have to say the problem is not the channels, it's the community. And that video I put up yesterday where people react to a title with no information, don't know anything about me, even make up stuff to say. That's a perfect example of why it's really probably not the channel's fault. It's probably the audience's fault. And
He's audience blaming right now. He's blaming you.
yes, I know this is not a way to be popular, sit here and chastise the audience. But here's the thing. If you're someone that actually does your homework, actually forms opinions, even if they're different than mine, well, then I'm not talking to you, am I? I always love it when I say something on my channel, like I'll say, oh, some people are so blinded by politics that they can't even recognize when this person or that person does something wrong because they're in the right political party. And then there will always be 5 or 10 people that are like, I'm leaving. Hey, you can't say that about me. I'm like, I didn't say it was you, but the very fact you're offended means it is. That's like saying, you got offended because someone made a pedophile joke. Well, you're probably a pedophile. You probably wouldn't be offended if you weren't. So that just never ceases to amaze me. Don't be one of those people. If you're not one of these people, if you're not one of the lowest common denominator in the gun community, just be glad you're not like that and start trying to do something for the people that are. Try to educate them. Try to encourage them to seek reality, seek truth. Because unfortunately, so many in the gun community right now are being poisoned because they believe this side of the aisle is on my side and whatever they do must be good for me in the long run, when really it isn't. And they're taking away your rights. They're slowly eroding your...
what is he even talking about? Like he says a bunch of stuff, but he's not actually saying anything. If you actually listen to what he said here, he's made a bunch of platitudes and like innuendos about hypothetical people out there who may have thought things or said things that were ideologically different than the anti-Trump things that he might have said, but there's no specific examples. There's no like people that he's named. There's nothing concrete that you can nail down. It's all ambiguous. It's all fucking fluffy, and that's how you make arguments without being able to be challenged, right? Because if you actually take a position on something and say like, I guess the only thing you took a position on was P320, right? And like someone disagrees with the P320 being a piece of shit, then they could fucking make their argument. But if you never actually make a point and you're just like, well, the things that you disagree with me about, and then you attack me in such a way, and it's like, bro, like, what are you even talking about? Like, make a fucking point. God damn it, Yankee.
Freedoms. But you don't recognize it because they have the right letter after their name. Be someone who pays attention. Be someone who forms educated opinions. Be someone, if you disagree with someone, do the research. If you agree with them, do even more research. Make sure you're both right. Maybe you're both wrong. That's the problem these days, like I said. So when someone asks me, what's the worst gun channel? I don't know if I can narrow it down because so many of them are so bad, because that's what sells. Like I said, I don't think the problem is the channels themselves. I think it's the market that demands they have to do that to be popular.
I wonder if that's why Yankee thinks people like me talk about the stuff that I talk about, because I'm like, oh, well, the audience really wants me to talk about fucking 9/11 again because they love the 2 hours. How many people fucking are so sick of me talking about 9/11 and yet you're still fucking here, right? Why? Because this is my fucking channel. It's the things that I talk about. It's what I want to fucking, it's the things that I'm interested in that end up being repeated fucking issues or subjects on the channel, right? And a lot of the time it pushes people away. A lot of the time fucking people hate the shit that I talk about and they get sick of it, and sometimes they even stop watching, and that happens. But I'm not I'm certainly not like fucking forming my opinions based upon what I think is going to get me more views, because I would have very different opinions if that were true. Oh man, I don't know. There were some things he said that I agreed with, like if you call someone a pedophile and they get offended.
Well, if you also falsely accuse people of that shit, they can sue the fuck out of you. And that's why I'm no longer friends with Guns Barbecue after 3 years.
Wait, what?
About 3 years ago, John and a bunch of his idiot fucking friends tried to accuse me of being a child molester because I was anti-child molester, and used one of Yankee's stupid ass videos to do so. Just because I was anti-child molester, hanging out with those motherfuckers over again.
Jesus. Oh, the SIG what is this? Uncommanded discharge?
Yeah.
What is an uncommanded discharge?
When you don't mean to nut, but you nut.
Right, which would be there's negligent discharge, which that wouldn't be a negligent discharge. It would be an accidental discharge, right?
Like it's a mechanical failure.
Right, which is an accidental discharge. I'd never heard the term uncommanded discharge until just now. And I've been shooting guns for a really long time. Am I like out of the loop, I guess, maybe? Fuck, I don't know. Fuck me, I guess. Means you didn't touch the trigger. I get it, dude. I understand what that means, but I always thought that even if a gun goes off and you didn't touch the trigger and it was a mechanical failure of some sort of sear mechanism or whatever it is inside of the gun, that it's an accidental discharge. And that's what makes it an accidental discharge versus you pull the fucking trigger. That's a negligent discharge. That's the difference.
You're right.
These YNs in their new language.
Well, Lord of mercy.
Not of my say.
I think Sig made that term.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, guys. Well, we've been going an hour and 43 minutes. We made fun of the Yankee Marshal, which I think is going to be a new regular part of the show. If you guys ever see something that Yankee does specifically, and maybe not like a regular thing, but like whenever Yankee does like a fucking crazy fucking video, or if we're just bored one night, maybe we'll watch a Yankee video and fucking critique it and pull it apart because it's kind of fun to do. And other than that, yeah, thanks for watching the motorcycle videos, guys. I actually really enjoy making them, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching them. I've got another one that I'm working on right now. And yeah, if you guys like those, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment. It kind of helps the algorithm a little bit, maybe. Anyway, other than that, I hope you guys have a good night. Deuces, y'all. Sean at P and Fridge. Trooper to shop at Nava to pressure. Batakath care. Prick the troops. 3 words. Oh, wait, it's only 2 words. Made in America. Good night, everybody.
I want to talk to you, motherfucker. Call me. Call me. Call me.